Howdy, my detectives, my cops, and my non-binary union members. It's me. Me. Alex.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Libs?
Today was stressful.
It happens. I gotta turn up your volume a little bit. Say that again?
I said today was stressful.
Alright. Unfortunate. Well, hopefully this will, perk you up a little bit. Also, Jaden in chat says, God, I recognize this melody, but I don't remember where it's from, and then says, wait, no, it's fucking Loser Baby. It is Loser Baby. You're a loser, baby.
Also, sorry for being quiet. It's just my dad went to bed about a minute ago.
Oh, it's okay. Just need to make sure that your volume is the right thing for the stream. Don't want you to be like drowned out by the game and whatnot. Let me turn it down a little bit.
Squound out.
Nope, still a little loud now. We'll set you to 140. Say something?
No.
Say something?
I say nothing.
Say something?
Wow.
Okay, you're good. A loser, baby, a loser, goddamn baby, you're a dumb little whiny bitch. You lose it just like me. It's a good song. If you guys have not seen the hit television show Hazbin Hotel, perhaps you should consider watching it at some point.
Why would I watch something that's apparently a has-been?
No, it's for has-beens, so perfect for you. Kidding, you're a delight. You're a wonderful bean. You're not a has-been, you're a gonna be.
Avery calling me a bean.
You has the bean. It's like the footed ball when they have the rock.
The big man has the rock.
Big man has the rock. I like that you just know a person is spelling the word has wrong there when they say has the rock. Why do people keep calling you Liv? Your name is Liz, short for Elizabeth.
Yeah, I don't know why Jaden keeps calling me Liv.
Liv Tyler. Like the rabbit and the actor. Liv, short for Livingston, the town in the United Kingdom. What if that was what if your name was Livingston? Would you be okay with that?
No.
Yeah, the name is Liz, short for Lizard Woman. Short for Lizalfos, the enemy from Legend of Zelda. So, are you ready to investigate?
Yeah.
Also, this stream probably won't be, like, insanely long, like some of my ones have been as of late. It would be nice to have a couple, like, shorter ones, but I would like to, I would like to get things done this stream, but I've also been invited to do something possibly later, so that's a That's a maybe on that one, so I'll just have to sort everything out. Unfortunately, I wanted to start earlier, but my sister got to work at 8 today, so I had to go rush off and do that. It was a right pain.
Wait, what was the right pain?
Having to go and get my sister at 8, because normally I start my stream at 7 or 8. And if I didn't want to start at 7, because then I just have to leave after like an hour, and then have to go, come back, and it would be a hassle, and I'm not sure you are around it yet, so I had to wait till 8.
I am unfortunately not really around until 8.
See, this is the issue with making cool thumbnails, is that I can't do anything else during the stream. Otherwise, I could just start an hour earlier just playing whatever the fuck, and then switching over to Disco Elysium. But that's against the rules. I'm not allowed to do that.
Also, Avery, show me the game.
I'll show you the game as soon as I'm capable of showing the stream the game.
Oh, is it still on a loading screen?
Yeah, it's doing the thing it always does, where it gets stuck on the midwares. Let me restart
why are these
it.
wares mid?
You're mid.
Oh.
You're medicinal.
Damn.
Worked more on my model today. That was fun.
Oh?
Yeah, it is a known fact I've been trying to work on an updated version of my model.
Yeah, it's Avery 3.0? Or is it 2.0?
I believe it's technically the 3rd iteration of Avery. Technically, it's the 4th one, but because the first one was technically just an octopus.
Oh yeah, I remember the little purple octopus with buttons for eyes.
Yeah, the classic octopus, which I do use sometimes. Whenever I'm in like a TTRPG, if there's ever water on the map, I will just draw the octopus inside of it, just off to the side. Just has become a habit of mine. If there's ever water anywhere, I will draw the octopus inside of it. They are everywhere.
If there is water, there is Avery.
Hell yeah. It's what I do. It is my turf, or should I say my surf.
Oh.
If I was a Pokemon, I wouldn't learn the move Surf. I'm just telling you that now. It's the only water type who cannot learn Surf. I actually don't think I'd be a water type. What do you think on that?
Oh.
Because, like, the first obvious one's fairy type. Because, look at me. But, and also, like, plush toys would presumably be more aligning towards fairy.
I like how when you said, look at me, your avatar did the grumpy face. Makes you a fairy dark type.
I mean, I feel like dark would not be the one there, because that would make me the same typing as Grimmsnarl. I think I'd probably like if I had to like choose, it might be like fairy poison.
Why are you poisonous?
Because often very brightly colored things are poisonous. Poison is typically a liquid without needing to be a water type, and many octopuses are poisonous. And I will say this right now. I think the water type in Pokemon is far too bloated. It is the most overloaded type in the game, because people, when people design it, they have this weird yet seemingly obvious inclination where they're going to make something that's in the water a water type, which is like, sure, but like that's like saying everything that you find in the forest is instantly a grass type. Like, no.
Isn't like the second most common type in the original Gen 1 water type because of how like even back then they had a bunch of fish?
Water type has always been either the most or the second most common type, because if anything even touches or associates with water, it's a water type. If it's in the water, it's a water type. If it's out of the water and does water things, it's a water type. And it's like, you're leaning way too heavily on the whole water aspect of this. Things are allowed to be in the water without you making them a water type. Like, I feel like a lot of them could probably be changed to be different things. Like, yeah, sure, some can be obviously water types, like just plain old fish. But like, you could have more variety down there.
And then, you know, in Gen 1 they have like a lot of water types and then only one ghost.
It's ridiculous. Gen 1 obviously is rigged against everything. There's like, I made a really big chart, and I might make a video on it one day, explaining what the hypothetical 19th type should be. And it acknowledges the same issue that water types have, in that okay, I'll just give the very quick idea behind the thing. I won't go into like all the details of it, but an issue when people try to come up with another type, they're always like light or sound or blood or whatever. Like, they're trying to come up with something conceptually different without thinking of the purpose of the type. We started with like I think it was like 15 types. Was it 15? It was either 15 or 14 types. And then only a handful of more types were added, and you need to figure out why those were added. Like, steel was added because certain things seemed obviously needing to be different than rock. Steel is just a shiny rock. Like, the Magnezone is gonna be steel. Why would it not be steel? Steel is like an obvious thing that should exist. Like, that one's just plain, there's nothing that could have qualified for steel before then. Other ones include, like, dark. Dark, obviously, is another thing that needed to fulfill a role that was being taken up by Ghost. And the last one is one that I think does this job most patently, is Fairy type. But what Fairy type did was lighten the load of Psychic types. Because there were so many Psychic types. Because if it did anything even generally magical, it was a Psychic type, unless it was evil, in which case it was a Dark type. They needed a type to split that type. They needed to cut down Psychics, so they made Fairy. And this kind of worked into a parallel that a lot of the types had. Water, ice, rock, ground, fire, electric, dark, ghost, fairy, psychic. Like, there were a bunch of types that kind of had two things that were similar, but not identical. Like, they had a common thread between them without being, you know, the same thing exactly. There are various exception types. Normal is a big exception type. Dragon is a big exception type. Now, we're not even going to get into fucking stellar. What you need to do when thinking up the next type is to not just try to find a concept that hasn't been done before, but lighten the load of a concept that is being overused. And I think I found the type that needed it the most, with allowing for a greater design space, while also, you know, helping it be more refined in its own right. Because it's a type that is so often forgot about that if you asked a person to list all 18 types, they probably will forget to list it as one.
I am at the edge of my seat.
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Damn.
I also did it mathematically. I did that side of the concept one, but I also made an entire chart calculating out what all of the missing, like, what the last type would need to do to have its, like, strengths and vulnerabilities to, figure out what type would balance the type chart so that certain types weren't stronger than others. Like, what one would be the linchpin to balance it all out. And it turns out that, thematically, it fit almost perfectly. And so, I think I have the perfect additional type.
What is it?
Why would I tell you?
Tell me.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
What did the smoke smell like?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain.
I'm trying to watch the stream, but when I mouse over your status, and it brings up the right now I'm moist menu.
Yeah, I'm moist.
Wait, but I can't.
Smooth and motley.
I can't click on the stream because when I mouse over the icon.
Click on the call itself, the live stream voice button.
Are under construction in the distance.
Okay, I had to open up your. I had to open up your profile.
Oh.
Oh, you found this Shivers interaction.
So bluntly, craters full of blackouts, but also the first light is gray already. A row of tenements under construction in the distance. Where the people live across the road?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware. His boyfriend is on his way home. He brings tins of meat and vegetables with him. Their pockets are heavier with money, but only slightly.
Haze.
Avery.
Hi.
I give you a tin of meat.
Tenement. What about the bus stop?
Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
What about the road?
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
Dead dog?
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over you. The sound of the sea has grown distant.
Bad enough.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Fucked up.
Yeah.
Maxwell is right above you. You hear a chirp, chirp.
And I remember when I first got to this place, like this part of the game, and I was like just in awe, because like you spend like the first like 2 or even 3 days in the city, and the city is kind of small, but then you go out here and there's just so much room. Sorry, am I too quiet?
No, you're too loud, actually.
Oh.
Well,
I saw you turning down the volume in game.
I know, but, like, the game's also too loud. I could not hear either of you. So, you should be kind of loud. The game should be quieter than you.
But yeah, I was saying, like, I remember when I first got here, Because you spend like the first like 2 or even 3 days in the city, and then you walk out here and there's just so much room to walk around.
Bridgeton class on its own artillery rocket. You know, I always like thought seeing like destroyed stuff like this was weird in like places that were like had a war at some point, because I was like, why don't you just fix it? Like, I feel like if I popped an Adderall, I could come out and fix this. Like, no offense, but like, why don't they just make the buildings better? Like, pop an Adderall, repaint the walls. Next day, pop an Adderall, fix this piece of wood right here. Like, just pop an Adderall, problems are solved.
Well, Avery, you gotta remember this area is very poor.
Okay, they
don't have the money or people living here to work on it.
I mean, you just kind of send the kids off to do it. Are you a person or a thing? No boat in the boathouse today. I look like a person. There's secrets! Oversized superstar sunglasses? Plus savoir-faire plus visual calculus. Trauma. Well, these don't negatively affect me at all, so, now that's a look.
Avery, put on pants.
I don't need pants!
You have pants that don't decrease any stats.
They decrease how sexy I look. What is this shelly constructed? Strong breeze might blow it over.
Avery confirmed not wearing pants in real life.
I don't wear pants. You look at my model. I do not have pants on. Ancient paint's peeling off the roof of the chaise bench, covered in rust. Sign says Entree Interdite. Old ticket taker booth, no longer operational. Words crack dangerously as you run. Be careful here. People paid money to park here. No one would pay now.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something definitely's gone down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs.
I see.
Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Why not?
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
That's fair. It'd be really fucked up if we let automatic weapons be such a common thing.
Meaning,
Oh, yeah.
nothing for us to do here. Let's move along.
Major Calculus Heroic. Bullet holes in the plaza, bullet holes in the backyard, and know about revolution. I get it at 3%.
Do you have anything that increases visual calculus? Any clothes? Hey,
What?
you got +2.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the crack,
17%.
reaching from one corner to
I
the
can
other.
nail it.
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall.
Yes!
There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement.
Hi, chat. I would just like to say that I did not need Liz to tell me to put on clothes, apparently, because that was a double 6, which means I would have automatically won regardless. So, I did, in fact, just get lucky.
I'm very glad you managed to get a visual calculus check.
About time.
You've missed the other ones, but this one you did.
The only one that matters. Look as these shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them. A dozen at least. Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. No movement. Ah.
10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner. Automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side.
Built luckily. Dare I say built briska. Shut the fuck up. Look, my outfit doesn't just is covered with lucky symbols for a reason. I am just lucky. I will state this every single time. Fate smiles on me every chance it gets.
Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence.
What's with the, like, explosion visual effect on the left? What's up with that? Yes, Jaden, that's a firing squad! That would be what that is! Technically, it's the same person pasted 7 times, but, you know...
A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is this?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to 2 options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
The conscious round is a fun concept where during a firing squad, to not have culpability, they only load one gun and don't tell who did it, so everyone has deniability that they're the one who committed the murder, because you're not allowed to kill people extrajudicially. So the firing squad in, like, either military practice or at sea or so on and so forth was a way to get around being able to be tried for murder and such, or, like, you know, it's the same reason why executioners wear hoods. It's a weird thing where people don't want to be known as the person who kills people.
Yeah.
Liz, have you ever seen the game, The Curse of the Obra Dinn, or The Return of the Obra Dinn?
Nope.
Really?
I've heard the name, but I haven't seen anything of it.
Really cool investigative game where you just need to figure out how everybody on this, like, boat that mysteriously showed up died. Like, you need to, like, use a thing to go back to the moment of people's deaths. And at one point you, like, learn that there was an execution at sea by firing squad, and it's fun because you get to go back and you have to figure out which one of the people who fired was the one who killed the person in the firing squad. It's nifty. Because you gotta, like, follow all the bullet trails and be like, okay, this is the bullet that went through the person. It's a nifty game. Highly recommend it. Beautiful art style. Those people against the wall.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who are they?
Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world.
Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
The person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Tim, who is who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the failed R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
Or maybe...
What about the people from the coalition, the so-called moralists?
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall.
Thanks.
To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures.
Thanks, visual calculus. Could always count on you. Now, get out of my sight.
So, what did you think of a visual calculus check?
I think it's nifty.
Also, Avery, what was Oh.
I should check these glasses. Dazzling reflexes. The mirror lies. Is your own stardom too dazzling for your eyes? Can't bear to look at your own flabbish reflection in the mirror? Then these classic oversized sunglasses are for you. What was what now?
People.
Found the Peepo. The small wireframing outside this future-looking found Peepo hat gives it the aerodynamic shape of a swoop skier's helmet, but none of its protective qualities. Girls wears ears and eyebrows to bring down the drag coefficient. What's my current hat do? Reaction speed and less rhetoric. I mean, do I really need perception?
I like how it gives +2 logic.
Ultimate peak focus.
Oh, what was the hat you got rid of?
The orange bum hat. Reaction speed and minus rhetoric.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's more important? Reaction speed's quippy. I like reaction speed. I don't need perception. I don't need logic. What's my logic at currently? 0. Yeah, I don't need it. I got everything I need right here.
Logic, aka the smart-ass skill.
Look, I'm trying to give people a unique experience here. And I'm pretty certain that 90% of people are going to be going with the logic route or the emotional route. And that's why I decided I want to go the physical route instead, because it's the one people are probably going to be doing less. It's rational. There's only a barred shut. It is inaccessible. What? Oh, okay. So Jaden said that they wanted that the 19th type in Pokemon should be space. What do you mean by that?
Oh, right. I was gonna ask before I got cut off. be selected by people. What was your idea for a new Pokemon type?
Oh look, a green thing.
Avery?
Tiny cage is carefully constructed. Yes, Liz?
Oh, did you not hear me?
No, I heard you. Maybe
What?
I don't want to. Maybe I don't want to spoil for the chat. What if I make it a video someday?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you tell me if your DM type is
Here we
being
go.
different.
Nice and easy.
It's mushroom.
No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Cylinders. The connection between humanity and the divine.
Is that the police? Why
Gary,
are
the
police
crypto
here?
fascist. Why do you speak in all caps?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
You must
I
be
love, I love Morel, the cryptozoologist, and then Gary, the crypto fascist.
Like, we started with the cryptozoologist's wife, which is like, sure, wild, and then we meet the cryptozoologist, like, okay, about time, and they immediately then slap you with crypto-fascist. Like, they knew exactly the joke lineup of this, of you just waiting, getting the wife with no context of the original guy, and then the second you get the original guy, just the fucking left hook. They set you up and knocked you down. They thought you had all the cards, but you had none of them. You had the straight, they had the royal flush, baby. You must be Moral, the cryptozoologist.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
What's chat saying? Stuff like the Ultra Beast, the Deoxery, and the Dexery. Hell, if you want to really go that far, the Gothic Arceus and Dialga and Faula. Do you mean Palkia? I feel like there's a real running Pokemon type based on Space/Celestial Step. Okay, couple issues with that. One, yes, there are things from space. There's an entire in every generation. There's a bug that looks like it's from space. That is a thing. One of the Dialga is time. Palkia is literally the god of space. Arceus is just god in general. What was that?
What do you mean every Pokemon generation there's a bug that looks like it's from space?
Okay, 1 second.
Or did I mishear what you said?
Pokemon bug type.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm opening up the internet. Give me a second.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I wasn't... I keep getting worried I'm too quiet.
Okay, window capture. There you go. Look, we look on stream. You can see on stream. So, bug types. We got where is it? So, obviously these ones are just regular ones, but then you got the fucking, I think it's Volbeat and Illumise. These are alien creatures. These are aliens. You could tell. Look at that. That's an alien.
This looks like a bug.
That's an alien.
That's just a bug.
Then we go down to this next generation. Blip bug. That's an alien.
I think that is just a bug.
We go down over here into these other combined ones. Ledian. That's an alien.
I think that is just a bug.
It's called the 5-star Pokemon. It's an alien.
I think that is just bug.
It's a pre-evolution, also an alien.
Bug.
Continuing on down. This is an alien. Genosec. That's an alien.
I think that is just bug.
Vicavolt, that's an alien.
Bug.
Those aren't even Pokemon. Dottler.
Bug.
This is literally a flying saucer. That's an alien.
No, I think it's just bug.
Scrolling down to trivia.
It's just bug.
Pokemon. No, stop typing in the middle of it.
It's
Pokemon
simply,
bugs like aliens.
simply bug.
Alien type in 2015. Yeah, like there are like Pokemon that are, you know, that are like aliens. Like Deoxys is literally an alien.
Bug. What if Deoxys was a bug?
That would be fucked up, honestly. Have you considered space bug? Yes, but what does space mean? What does it do? What is... You can't just say space as like a thematic concept. Then you could just be like mammal should be a type because there's a lot of mammals.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if you're gonna go like a space-oriented type, I would say something like, say, cosmic instead would be a better name for it.
Or maybe they could do something with the actual type they have called stellar, and maybe do something with stellar for that other than have one Pokemon use it.
Wait, they added a new type? What?
Yeah, stellar.
What?
One Pokemon has it.
The fuck?
Yeah, it is. Terapagos has it.
What?
It has a rainbow effect.
What game is this one from?
It is from Pokemon Scarlet Violet. Specifically the Indigo Disc.
Huh. What does the type do? Like, what is it strong, weak against?
Uniquely, the Stellar type has no defensive properties, as a Stellar type Pokemon will always retain its original typing's defensive properties. So whatever its original type is, when it terrestrializes, it becomes Stellar, and it will have the same type as before. Outside of terrestrializing, any attempt to change Pokemon's type into Stellar type, such as moves of Conversion 2 or Flight type, will fail, as our Stellar type Pokemon are in practice always weak to Stellar type moves, in addition to any weakness of their original type. When a Pokemon terrestrializes into Stellar type, it gains an attack boost for every move type, but only once per type, 2 times the Pokemon's original types, and 1.2 times for every other type, including Stellar. After a move is used, no other moves of that same type will receive this boost from being terrestrialized. In Terra Raid battles, all moves will be boosted in this manner without limit. In its Stellar form, Terapagos similarly retains this boost at all times. Stellar type Terra Blast gains increased base power at the cost of lowering the user's attack and special attack stats by 1 stage. The Stellar type Terra Starstorm changes to hit multiple opponents. Other moves cannot be changed into the Stellar type. So I believe its thing is that it's good against other things that are terrestrialized. Because it's from Terapagos, which is this fucking turtle.
Turtle.
And you see it has all the types around it. And then it has a type stellar at the top.
Oh.
It's the legendary from the Indigo disc. And yeah. So yeah, they did in fact add a 19th official type. It is stellar. It would be cool if they did something interesting with it, because currently it's not that good. It's not even good on the Pokemon it comes with, which is kind of fucked up.
I'll be honest, if a type, like, I didn't really understand what it did from you just reading out the wiki description.
Yeah. But yeah, no Pokemon is naturally stellar. All Pokemon Scarlet Violet can become stellar except for Ogerpon. Defensively, they're treated as their base type, and attack-wise, they get one strong move per type, basically. They could stab with everything once.
Stwong.
Which is, like, cool, but, like, it's not that useful. It's interesting. I appreciate that they tried something, but I feel like they could have made it more versatile. Like, having what is basically a inverse to the normal type, where it's like, this thing has strong against all of the other things once, instead of a thing that's, like, normal against everything, is an interesting concept. I could appreciate going for something there. But, I think they I think it was a bit of a miss. If they rework it to make it more interesting on more things, that would be cool. I'd be happy to see Stellar on more things if it was more versatile. Yeah, they added a new type. So many types. Okay, since let me grab it. Might as well.
What are you grabbing, AV? What is Avery grabbing?
So this is the chart I made to try to figure out the new type, and I landed on Arrow, or Air. Arrow sounded cooler as the type, because it fit in the best, because I have various charts showing all of the different, like, typing combinations that I could have worked out. And this was the one that just made the most sense. Because, like, I was like, okay, normal's an exception. Normal and Dragon were, like, automatic exceptions. I ignored everything about them because, like, they are too specialized in what they do for me to really bother with them. And then I was like, okay, this gets a point up for having a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2, a 2, but a point down for having a half, a half, a half, a half. And then measured that out, then measured that out, etc., etc. I didn't want anything to have an immunity to or from it, because I feel like immunities are weird one-offs, and so I decided to ignore that for the time being. Eventually I landed on which ones did not need any interaction, and which ones most needed interactions. So, like, I saw that fire needed this, that something needed to be strong against fire, something needed to be strong against water, and something needed to be strong against the fucking steel. Something needed to be strong against steel for fucking certain, because look at fucking steel. Steel's defensive as hell. It needed another weakness. But yeah, things like that. Like, and then I saw, like, something needs to be weak to fire, something needs to be weak to electric, something needs to be weak to poison. To make these, I needed to make a stronger types weaker and weaker types stronger. And that was the idea. So I found these values out, and then from what I got, then I determined what type would best fit with the concept, while also working with trying to lighten the load. And I determined the one that people always forget about, but is so overly bloated, is flying. Because everything that has wings is given flying. Everything that is in the air is given flying. when a lot of the time it shouldn't be. So I decided to take the similar route where there is flying and there is air. If it is a literal thing that flies, like a bird, it should probably be flying. If it is just associated with the concept of air and clouds, it should probably be air, like the tornadoes and the little like weather one. The things that are related to the sky, but not literally, you know, flying. And so yeah, so I it's basically an alternative to flying. I thought it was a pretty interesting type given its setup. It does invent actually a unique interaction, because along all these other ones there are types that are immune to each other, like Ghost and Normal are immune to each other. There are types that are both like equally I believe that are both equally like weak to each other. Like I believe the dragon is double effective against dragon. There's like there's things with weird interactions like that. But for this one, I believe it's for fire. Fire is super effective against air, but air is also super effective against fire, which I think is an interesting thing, to have two things be super effective against each other. Because I just like the idea, because like thematically, you can fan a fire, but you could blow out a flame. So, but they conceptually work together. Like, yeah, they're like, the air is strong against water because, you know, the condensation can pick up water into the air. Clouds basically are water being moved by air. Air is weak to electricity because, you know, fucking lightning can explode air pretty easily. Fire burns air, obviously. Poison is strong against air because air pollution. Because pollution. That was my logic there. Air is weak against what was it here? Ice. Air can't do much to ice because cold pressure. Cold controls air better than air can control cold. Air can't do much to ground. Yeah, go on.
I gotta restart my computer quick.
Okay, I'll continue jabbering. Air can't do much to ground because they barely interact with each other. In the same way, ground can't do much to air. They are both resistant to each other. Air super effective against flying because if you're in the air will win. Air can't do much against bugs because they are too small. Air really good against steel because the concept of oxidization and rust. Air is good against fairies because fuck fairies and your fucking fairy dust. Get blown out of the air. Tornadoes. Air is resistant to air because it's just how it works on the chart. The only other things is dark makes it hard to see the sky. So I made that like that. Rock is hard to do with air because good luck hurting the air with a rock. That was my logic. That's the best I can do on that one. But yeah, air. Welcome back. Yeah, air. The cool new type. I think it fits really well. I think it. I did the math. I wasn't just like, I think conceptually this is a missing thing. Like, no, I understand. It's really close to a thing that already exists, but that's a noted thing that they do. They make types that are close to things that already exist because they decided this thing needed to be split. And I think if they added another type, air is a really good argument. Yeah.
Argument.
Back to gaming. Who do I owe the pleasure? Lena Semi, she's really worried about you. She's waiting for you to get back. Man to man, you shouldn't leave your woman unattended in the country surrounded by communists. How do I resist pushing this button?
You can say the normal option, or you can be insane.
I mean, this person over here is a fascist, so...
Imagine somebody walks up to you and just says something like that.
Fuck it!
The lieutenant sighs at your flagrant misogyny.
Damn it!
Oh, did that lower your
Cryptozoologist's
score?
companion
I think
says
so.
nothing, but nods approvingly in your direction.
Hell yeah, Gary the crypto fascist!
No.
So that's what this is. Lena sent you. Can't say I blame her. We've been here for days. That darn water lock is broken, and we can't go under the 881.
The water lock's been fixed. It was fine when I crossed it. Withhold the whole story. Yeah, that was me. I broke the water lock with my motor carriage, but it's fixed now. You can go back.
You
No.
broke the water lock with a motor carriage. There was a billboard in the canal. Not a vehicle. It said Samaran Butter.
I will never apologize for anything. You guys are right. It was really the sign's fault. Anyway, you can go back now.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we go in.
Tell me about this phasmid you're looking for.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
What makes it so difficult to find?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
What sorts of specialized techniques is the phasmid using to hide itself?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved
Hypothesis.
certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
I like how this
Yes.
guy has a...
It makes perfect sense. You're beginning to suspect there's something paranatural about this phasmid.
I love how this guy has a thick Australian accent.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that this guy's tech.
Oregon? Avery.
Yes.
Dork.
Gork.
I can't remember what it is, what the in-universe name is for the country that the Australian accent has. I think it's like Messina, or Vesper Messina.
Huh.
I think Vesper is supposed to be Britain. I think Messina is supposed to be Australia, or like the pseudo equivalent.
Yeah. How big is this phasmid?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
This conclusion up to you.
Seems puny, to be honest.
Thanks, physical instrument. I can fight it. Where's it just the stick bug? Doesn't seem so colorful as some of the other cryptids I've heard about.
typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for.
That is fair.
Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of my, of any, cryptozoologist's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
would be glory itself.
Thanks, electrochemistry, for actually having good input at one point. What have you discovered about so far?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
No one's ever found one?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real.
Meteorologist says, brusquely enough that even he seems taken aback by it.
By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Lena said there's been a sighting of it here in Martinez.
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Huh. The insulin phasmid has died out?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Parthenogenesis? Wow. Thanks, Encyclopedia.
To
You
be fair,
really...
it is a fail. It is a failed check. But it's funny just coming in with an and nothing else.
Yeah. For the record, the only reason I know what parthenogenesis is off the top of my head is from the TV show House, where one episode in a side story, a character manages to have parthenogenesis due to a random mutation.
Manages to what?
To perform parthenogenesis due to a random mutation in one of their eggs.
Okay, you accidentally bumped your mic, so you just said they managed to parthenogenesis.
Yeah, for one. I think it was like one of the Christmas episodes. A character manages to have parthenogenesis and basically produces a clone, more or less, as a pregnancy, which is for the joke of having what is a virgin birth around Christmas. Got it. Parthenosis. Parthenogenesis? Gotta exude confidence. Got it. Parthenosis.
Parthenogenesis, meaning the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
That's pretty clever. The male is a deficient life form. The world would be better off if women didn't need men to reproduce. Females reproducing without males? A travesty. A crime against passion and common sense. This arouses no special feeling in me.
I like how that's supposed to be like the centrist option, but that somehow sounds the weirdest way to respond.
That's pretty clever!
Yes, the Insulindian phasmid is a very clever insect. That's why it's so damn difficult to catch. But as a scientist, I'll try my best to remain dispassionate.
I know there's like one
Very
species of
little,
lizard that
not
apparently
yet.
does
I
that.
know, by which I mean, I've heard I have to resist.
What was that?
I said I know there's like a species of lizard or something that does that.
Yee! Parthenogenesis.
Yes, the females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
The male is a deficient life form. The world would be better off if women didn't need men to reproduce.
Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate. Very not I know it, by which I have to... Yes.
Being reproduced on males? A travesty. A crime against passion and common sense.
Nature does not concern herself with ethical proposition. Very... Not yet. I know by which I have to... Yes.
This arouses no special feelings in me.
It shouldn't. Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate.
How am I going with good cop, bad cop? Noted. What was that?
Why you always gotta go through the dialogue tree like 5 times?
I need to know all the things that they say. Tell me more about these traps.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
And design the traps?
Yes.
He says with some pride. How do the traps work?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
Wait, is the thing resilient or delicate? What are you using as bait?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm.
What do you do if the traps don't work?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
Let me ask you about something else.
Yes. What?
How did you become a cryptozoologist?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
Fair enough.
He seems reluctant to talk about himself, but he'll open up, if you prod a little.
So you're living your childhood dream in here?
It's not child's play, just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Why not just be a zoologist? Real animals are puzzling too.
Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
Honestly, being a cryptozoologist trumps most of the garbage I've seen people do.
My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
Your nerve endings tell you there is no such thing as a positive surprise.
Life surprises are mostly miserable.
Agreed. Yet there is always a chance, albeit a small one, of a truly good surprise. One simply needs to look at the history of science.
That's valid.
Abound.
Serendipity. I like serendipity. It's a fun word. Liz, have you ever had a moment of serendipity?
Wait, I forgot. What's the definition of serendipity again?
It's like a joyful coincidence. A happy surprise. Where something lines up just perfectly. It's like a game you want to play coming out on a school day, and then it turns out that school gets canceled that day. Serendipity. I get regular serendipities all the time because I'm great and wonderful, and fate loves me.
Honestly, off the top of my head now, I can't really think of any.
Jane says...
In recent memory.
Jaden says, isn't it usually spelled serendipitous? No, serendipitous is the adjective. Serendipity is the singular. Serendipities is the plural.
Serendipity's nuts.
I'm going to kill you. You're gonna serendipity.
Oh no.
Has anything truly surprising ever happened to you?
No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying.
I'm gonna check something on the internet. Has a cryptid ever been found? Apparently, yes. The Komodo dragon was originally a cryptid before people actually proved that it was real. The platypus was considered faked until people proved that it was real.
I just googled it. Yeah, apparently there have been a few animals that were originally thought to be cryptids.
I knew people thought that the platypus was a hoax. I didn't think they thought it was just a purely fictitious creature like a cryptid. Huh, I never really pieced that together. The okapi, the gorilla. The giant squid. I'll kill it. The Bondakazoo. Kangaroo was considered a cryptid. Huh. Well, the more you know. A lot of things you think are just weird animals used to be cryptids, but people just didn't know any better. And people are discovering new animals, mostly bugs, regularly. It's nifty. There's a lot of things to find out there.
Interesting. Something for later, this close call.
Thanks, reaction speed, I guess.
Real. I know
Surprising like any other.
Indeed. My methods do not...
Your nerve endings tell you there is
No.
Real.
See, this seems like a lot of wishful thinking.
My methods are the same as those of other science.
Your nerve ending.
No.
What kind of evidence do you use?
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
The phasmid.
Phasmid. Serendipitous sus. We need to full explore the ocean at some point. Don't, I live there. It's kind of rude.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
You think other scientists don't listen to ordinary people enough?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Okay, look. I will not say that science is not regularly tainted by corporate greed. It is. But, at the same time, a lot of scientists don't really have a choice. They want to be doing science in a specific field. It's just that the only people who are willing to pay them a lot of money happen to either be rich capitalist people or religious groups, because they don't need to pay taxes. So, the people that are funding science are typically people who want a specific outcome to be from that science. So, if you would like science to be more open and honest to what you believe in, donate more to scientific groups so that they can do their own independent research. Sorry, Creed, but I need to know what fucked up shit exists in your house. It just so happens your house is 70% of the planet's mass. I don't think that's a good excuse. At least knock first. This is why I'm allowed to sink boats. Legally, I'm allowed to do that. It's the law. I said so. I just noticed when I'm like in this exact position, my top stripe of my hoodie lines up perfectly with the blue of the wave behind me. It's nifty.
Oh, the blue.
So you never discovered crypto?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
How many cryptids have been found?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemnee, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Only 2 have been proven to be real?
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Hugo Grad, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We
50.
cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves, more so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Not approvingly, then the Insulindian Phasmid will be the 3rd.
Indeed. If our expedition is successful, every paper in the world will report on it. From Revachol to Dushantu.
Where
It'll
the
be a
fuck is
zoological
Dushin
miracle.
to?
It's a very funny name.
The zoological miracle.
The hair on your arms stand up. Electricity. Sounds like reeds hissing.
I'm gonna use the power of shivers to discover this insect before he does.
The power of shivers.
No. Of the list, 2 are categorized. Yes, we cryptozoologists. In fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent, should our search contribute to making that number 0.075%. No. Of the list, 2 are... Yes, we cryptozoologists...
I don't even to say, that's a small number of discoveries.
Do you know what the success rate in pharmacological research is? 0.00003% of bioreactive agents have reproducibly beneficial effects. Yet science persists in the search for medicine, as we persist in our search for new species.
That's reasonable. We need to, like, try every chemical to see if it's useful to us in some way. There's a lot of chemicals. Atoms could be bonded in a litany of ways. Shout out to that time that, like, some scientists, like, they couldn't figure out how a molecule was formed, like, what shape it would take. And so they produced there was a video game produced, which was about assembling, atoms in certain orientations to try to solve puzzles. Like, you basically, like, reorganize it to try to get it lined up in a way that, like, abides by the rules of how molecules form. And one of the, like last things was this particular problem where they couldn't figure it out. And so, with all of these people playing this game en masse trying to solve it, they quite quickly, more than they would expect, got the solution to it. Because, obviously a computer can run through every possible orientation, but a human is a lot better at determining, like, cutting off, like, failed things right away. They're a lot more decisive at what is not even a possibility, because a computer needs to try every possibility. But a human is able to intuitively know what is most likely to be the outcome and work from there instead. And so humans being able to, a bunch of humans going at this means that they were able to find the solution at a much faster rate than one would expect doing it manually.
Neat.
Yeah. Thanks for playing that. Now, about something else.
Yes?
Let's talk about specific cryptids.
All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what...
You need to ask him about specific cryptids. Cryptids you've heard about from Lena, or his friend Gary. He won't just talk.
I know all about what cryptid did you almost catch? You said before you almost caught one.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialist would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
What are the willow people?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees.
He says in a manner, self-explanatory, everyday manner.
They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
Did you ever hear a book called There Is No Anti-Memetics Department?
No, never heard of it.
So it was a fan book for SCP that me and Mako read. Really good book, really weird at times, about the... Oh, I got our donation.
Sorry unable to watch stream today, popping in
Avery
for 5 seconds
Donatory.
to say disco and bye, dudes.
Oh, thank you, Akabai Boys, for the $5. Yeah, the entire book is about the Anti-Memetics Division. See, the word memetics comes from the field of memetics. It's where the word meme comes from, and it's the concept of shared ideas. It's how one idea transfers from one person's head to another. It's why memes are a ubiquitous image in which gets transferred around. It literally is an example of a shared idea.
The DNA of the soul.
Basically, yes. It quite literally is. It is a encoded thought, more or less. And it's also used in various other things, like a memetic hazard being a damaging thought that can be put into a person's head. In SCP, the concept of something that is anti-memetic is something that is a thought that cannot be shared. It actively removes itself from your memory. It's something that automatically is filtered out, more or less. You literally don't even notice it's there when it's happening. Like, there's one infamous SCP that is, no one is able to describe what it is. They go in, they see it, and then they, like, go out and they cannot remember what it is. And the only way that they're able to record information about it is by asking what it is, and we're trying to remember what it isn't. Like, it is not square, it is not round, it is not big, like, that kind of thing. Like, and so they're slowly chipping away at what it might be. Which I think is a very, like, nifty idea. I actually made an OC based on the concept of anti-memetics, but,
That reminds me of a line from King of the Hill.
Oh?
Where Dale says that throughout years of searching, they have managed to, like, pinpoint exactly where it isn't.
Yeah. And yeah, Jane's right, SCP-055 is that one. But yeah, there's various other SCPs that also follow the anti-memetic sort of idea of something that does not necessarily exist. In a way that, like, it does not you do not remember it existing. And one creature is described as a, like, early on the book they describe an example of this, like, creature that is very tall and lanky, sometimes visible on the horizon, and
Very tall and stanky.
And yeah, you forget. I did not write it. I read it. But it's a tall, lanky creature that's off on the horizon. And you forget that it's there. That was its, like, defense mechanism. Like, it evolved to be ignored. So that's how it, like, avoided predators. But eventually, obviously, the SCP Foundation discovered it, and they started taking pictures and whatnot, and then turned out that being detected and, like, taking pictures of it and videos killed it. It was damaging to it, and it resulted in the species going extinct, and, like, now this thing that people didn't even know was there can never be found again. And so it's like, it kind of, like, it was an early message in the story about, like, this entire concept. And I think the book did something really nifty, because like the last chapter, the very last thing it says is like it kind of like is, you know, finishing up the story, and then it like talks about a couple lanky creatures off in the horizon just kind of like doing their thing, apparently showing that that the creatures did not in fact go extinct. People stopped looking for them, so they were fine. Sometimes it's better to just leave things not known. There's also like a murderous death thought, which is like the main antagonist of that book, which is cool. Highly recommend it. It's a I forget, I think it's like 7538 or something like that, some big number. But once you think about it, it will do everything in its power to kill you.
Oof.
Yeah, it is a malevolent thought from like outside, and it like as soon as you are able to think about it, it now has a way in to like the dimension in which you preside.
Oh no.
Yeah. Fucked up thing. Oh, and Jen, I said that I made an OC based on the concept, not an SCP. 3000. I don't think it's 3002. I think it's a bigger number than that.
I can't believe Avery is a memetic hazard.
You're a memetic hazard. It's a really good book. They also feature that one where you have to go into a room and then our memory, why did you leave it? Because it turns out that room is filled with information on the malevolent thought thing trying to kill everyone, and so you have to be a memory erase before you leave, or otherwise it will break in. Very cool times. Wait, so I may have seen these willow people without people knowing about it?
You probably have.
How do you catch a willow person?
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paint. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself.
I would argue Avery is a cognito hazard. Why would Kreed be a cognito hazard?
After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
And then?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
He smirks.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone and to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined.
Better to be laughed at than wrong. I'm an expert in my field.
Furthermore,
ufology, yes,
I'm
it's
not
all
saying
real.
it was a confirmed
Ancient
sighting.
aliens, it's all
I'm
true.
painfully aware
I'm
of
an
what goes
expert
into
just
verifying
like
such
you,
things.
I'm
There's
a
a serious
genius.
possibility
Before my
that I saw a
time,
squirrel
disbelieving
or a
that's
tree
the true
Now,
crime.
my own
Pretty
harshest
soon
critic.
they'll discover me in the super saga, so say. Every day, what can I say when the truth comes out of my very own mouth? I've been working on a unified theory. If I make it tonight, it's gonna hear me out, 'cause I'm the right one. I'm not saying that it was confirmed sighting.
Phone.
On your touch, turn for the firm. I'm painfully aware of what goes on into verifying such things. There's a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trail of light, or I am my own worst critic. I know all about the kind green ape. Look, even a kind green ape pen.
I see you've been talking about cryptids with Lena. The kind green ape is one of her favourites.
A warm wave passes him. Of course, the kind green ape is her favorite, he thinks.
We travelled to South Safra to look for it once. Gary and I got stuck in a rainstorm, though, and had to spend most of our time there in a little village. The search was fabulously unsuccessful, but the people were very nice. I'm glad they didn't understand what Gary was saying about them.
What? South Safra? They're just on a different rung of the ladder, Morale. I had no problem with them.
Fuck you, Gary.
Really? You kept complaining about how dirty everything is. But we digress.
You're just on a different rung of the ladder. Wait a second! Is this the third magical racist? Will he grant our wishes? Do you mean Kreed doesn't cause psychological or physical effects to whoever perceives them? Liz, do I cause psychological or physical effects to whoever perceives me?
You cause feelings of happiness in me.
There!
I am around you.
I'm not a cognito hazard. I'm a cognito helper. There we go. I help you feel happy. Cognito hazard, nice day.
They're a nascent culture.
Nascent!
I just didn't feel comfortable. And let's change the topic, okay? Talk about your critters. Or whatever.
I continue confusing the word nascent and nubile. They are not the same word. Don't get them confused.
Yes, back to cryptozoology. You don't want to sow disagreement between friends.
I know, but the most dangerous cryptid, the gnome of Jeroma.
Formerly the most dangerous, yes. But do you know the most dangerous living cryptid?
Living? No.
The most dangerous cryptid is a carnivorous ruminant, known colloquially as the dread moose.
The dread moose?
Yes.
The dread
moose
moose
subsists entirely on flesh. It has even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Oh, does it also attack people?
Human remains have been found deep in the forest, torn apart, then trampled into the mulch by large hooves. Infer from that what you will.
What does a dread moose look like?
Just like an ordinary Arden moose.
And how can you tell if it's the ordinary or the dread kind?
You can't. That's what makes it so dreadful and hard to identify.
I'm not really sure about this dread moose. I'm 100% behind the dread moose. I utterly believe it exists.
Of course you do.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more. Sightings in Vasa, reaching back 4 centuries. But, of course, nothing satiates the skepticism of.
A detective. Pardon me, I did not wish to seek conflict. It's simply my training to question things.
Understood, Lieutenant. Formerly the most,
I can try to guess.
me, you won't guess it. You either know or you don't.
He shakes his head and says the most sensible thing in the
The
world.
most dangerous cryptid is a carnivore.
Get out of here.
But we're not get out of anywhere. The dread moose is a widely reported cryptid from Arda. It subsists entirely on flesh.
Is Arda
It has
Canada?
even been known to dig up fresh graves in search of sustenance.
Is Arda Canada, Liz?
I don't know. I think that's like one of the only times Arda is mentioned.
Well, given it's talking about moose, I'd assume it's Canada, and given that it's barely mentioned, I assume it's Canada.
Damn.
Anyways, get dunked on, Canada. If I have any Canadian watchers, why? Don't you have dread moose to investigate?
Avery, you are
Just like
not
an
building
ordinary
your
you
audience.
can't. That's what makes
Talk
it so
like this.
dreadful.
I'm kidding. I
and
love
hard to
Canada.
identify.
Canada, the only place with moose. Correct. Name one other place with moose in it.
New York.
That's not a place.
But
New York is a town. Get it right.
New York State. We have moose.
That's not a country, that's a state.
Yeah, and you're not a person, you're a landmass. I don't know that. Yeah, even I think that was a terrible comeback. I'm sorry.
I made you smaller on the stream.
Oh no!
I'm not completely sure about this dread moose.
The bodies found in the forest are just one piece of physical evidence. There's more.
What's the other evidence?
The recent surge in the moose population. As hidden carnivores, the dread moose are effectively removing competition for both themselves and their evolutionary cousins.
Why would it need to hide its carnivorous nature?
Moose are already being hunted for sport. Can you imagine what would happen if they came to be viewed as predators?
What exactly is the relation between the carnivorous moose and the regular moose?
The carnivorous moose are a very young species, the result of a genetic mutation that fared well in the process of natural selection.
To be fair, moose are massive and powerful. If they decided to be carnivores, I'm not sure there's much we can do about it.
In
It
the
makes sense that
process
such a
of natural
majestic
selection.
animal with natural weapons, antlers, would come to rule the forest. The only strange thing is that it took so long.
That's fair. Are there reliable eyewitness accounts of moose killing other than animals for food?
One slaughterhouse at the outskirts of the woods in Vasa reported that its staff kept seeing moose in the distance. The moose would just stare at the building, as though they were waiting for something. Its eyes bloodshot and full of cruelty.
That does sound suspicious.
And that's not all. Some of the slaughterhouse apprentices went hiking by a nearby creek and saw a moose nibbling on an unidentified carcass. Anyway, there is more than enough evidence to justify a thorough search for the dread moose. Let's close the subject before it turns into an argument. Formerly the most no, just like an order. You can't. That's what the bodies found in the forest. The recent surge in the moose population. Once the moose would just stare.
Sure, I'm buying
that's not all. Some of the slaughter. Anyway.
Okay.
There is more than enough.
I know the biggest
evidence to justify a
cryptid,
thorough
the
search
giant
for the
Coco
dread
Nur.
moose. That's impressive, I guess. But have you seen it with your own eyes?
Have you seen it?
I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco Nor. No. And I likely never will. The Samaskill desert region has been embroiled in a small civil war for the last 8 years. I fear this mindless barbarism may have wiped out the elusive creature entirely. Sightings of towering luminosities have grown rare recently, while they once used to be constants. That's impressive, I guess.
Sure. No.
Of course you haven't.
Seems satisfied.
I haven't had a chance to travel to Coco Nor. No. I fear this mindless... That's impressive, I
Yes.
guess. Remarkable. When?
I was lying. I haven't actually seen it. I just wanted to impress
That's
you.
what I thought. You haven't actually seen it. In fact, I can't imagine how you could either. The Samaskill desert region has been embroiled in a civil war for the last 8 years. I fear this mindless... That's impressive, remarkable.
I'm having trouble remembering.
That's what I thought. You haven't actually seen it, and I can't imagine how you could either. I fear this mindless barbar.
I know about the
may have wiped
Cryobacter
out the elusive-
catlensis.
Oh, everyone knows about that one. Thanks to Professor Mijanu being the talk of the town for a time.
Coughs in
A
his
bit of
fist.
jealousy there. He'd want that glory, truth be told. Even if he'd have to inject himself with bacteria to get it.
Although, probably because her life ended as a result of her work in Gutler, no one remembers her contributions to the search for the Nongok.
Better not go into the Nongok. The Nongok?
A flightless cursor owl found in the Seminine Isles. Its long legs permit the Nongok to run faster than any other avian, perhaps any other animal. Who knows?
How long are its legs? Because, like, ostriches exist. Emu exist. Albatross exist.
When it's not hunting its prey in this manner, the auk hangs from tree branches, like a bat, waiting to dive on hapless prey below on the jungle floor.
Why would it do that if it can't fly? What animal would hang upside down when it knows that it cannot fly? What benefit does it have to hang upside down when it cannot fly? Got a crick in my neck.
Mijanu liked extreme animals, you see. One of the few figures of the academic establishment I respect. Really a shame she disappeared.
When did she disappear?
Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. The chasm of academic pretension still stood before us, even though she had unusual courage for someone from the other side. Oh,
A bit of
although, probably because... Yes. Probably. Oh.
a bit of
Although, a flightless when it's not... Mijanu liked... Oh, decades ago. In the 30s. I didn't know her personally, of course. Formerly the most... Yes. Just like an... You can't. That's what makes... The body's found in... Another one?
Tell me about a cool cryptid. Any cryptid.
No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories. Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
Versus the air strain of hair from his eye.
Persistence.
Enough tales then. Let's change the subject.
By all means.
It's time to return to your woman, Morel.
By woman, you mean my wife, I assume. I will return to her. I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
He looks south, where Lena would be.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
I didn't know the Phasma was so important to Lena.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
Really? She sighted the Phasma? She didn't tell me that.
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine.
Needless to say, you must ask her about the mysterious Phasmid.
Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian Phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Okay, I understand. I don't give up on things either.
Good. A good quality to have. Both for a police officer and an experimental zoologist.
What if we shut the traps for you?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
Chaos isn't my method. I am its scion. I am all in with this cryptid shit. I'm hooked. Cryptozoology and detective work are very similar. Chaos my method, I am its scion.
Well, be that as it may, I'd really appreciate the help.
Where are these
There are
traps?
4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast.
Okay.
It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church.
Radio?
The 3rd is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them, you should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
The pursuit of knowledge is its own justification.
Is it?
He doesn't look too convinced with a small shrug indicates.
If
Why
you
not?
think it's important, you have been right before.
We have been right about everything.
There are 4. Another you should.
That seems like a lot.
Why?
Are we
Aren't you
really
having fun?
Even relative to examining a weak old corpse, I'm not sure mucking about in the reeds qualifies as fun. But have it your way.
Can't we just be getting used to our level of bullshit?
If you think it's important, you have.
I don't have to do it with the fast one in one of these
Bring
traps.
it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the fine, but he's lying about this even to himself.
What if I encounter the Phasma in the wild?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed. It's made of musk and research chemicals. The pheromone should attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Will last you about a week.
Lay it on me. Lay it on me thick. I don't want this. Thank you very much. Lay it on me thick. He does you the odd-smelling spray, a double helping as you present your other armpit, and then gives you a satisfied nod.
This is the smell of dying reeds, of longing crumbling into the water.
Thanks, Shivers.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
So mean.
Well, congratulations,
He's not
Avery.
comfortable with the
You are
possibility
now
that
sticky.
you'll claim the fine.
Right. Which means you two can pack up and go.
Whatever he thinks about this detour, it's clear that these men are exhausted and in need of assistance.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
What was that, Liz?
I said, finally, you are now stinky.
Yee. How's it going? You saw your lock smell of ignition fluid. It just won't light up.
Oh, you ready to talk to this guy?
What's up? What's up, Gary?
Hello, I'm Gary. Very generous of you to help us out, officer. Yellow man. I mean, officer.
The lieutenant raises his eyebrows slightly and takes out his notebook.
Like, honestly, like... That's barely even a slur! Like, it's just a weird way of saying that! Like, that, like, what would you do if, like... It's like having a black person come and just being like, ah, black person! Like, it's not technically offensive, it's just a really weird thing to say to somebody!
Yellow man. That sounds awfully familiar. Something to keep in mind for later.
The mug! This is the killer! It's our magic racist! He's the guy who committed the murder!
Dumb.
I'm just waiting for my friend Morel to finish up with his insect traps so we can return to civilization.
Not a lover of the great outdoors?
I like nature, just not this bloody coast. It's mostly drunks and degenerates that come here.
Degenerates? I've been trained to identify the slightest of degeneracy by being the preeminent authority on drunks and degenerates. That's my crew. Sadly, I think I might be a drunk or a degenerate, maybe even both. Nobody's perfect. I'm sure you've been tempted to drink. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, I've been tempted. But someone has to stay strong for Revocall.
Call. Issues of Palestine lives in this heat. Then about the man hanged behind the whirling in rags.
Oh, so that's what the RCM in Martinez is about.
I don't
Great.
like how you
Great to hear
pronounce
someone's
every
finally
word
taking
by its
care of
syllables. It is very annoying to hear a person talk like this. You speak like Kanaya from Homestuck.
Oh no.
They do! They are speaking in camel case!
So you do know something about it?
No. Nothing. He was some kind of mercenary. But everyone here knows that. I'm just glad to hear you're looking into it. That's all.
He didn't kill him or anything, but there's something going on here.
Yeah, the mug nailed it. Are you a cryptologist too?
No. I help Morel with research sometimes, and I've learned some things along the way. But I don't usually go in for picnics like this on my own.
You were surprised to see my colleague, Lieutenant Kitsuragi?
Not many Sealites here, or anywhere, other than Sail. I meant no offense, truly.
Do you remember how, when we met Measurehead and I said the next races will be a really good one?
Yes.
Well, this is that racist.
Will you grant us 3 wishes?
Will you grant us 3 wishes, Gary?
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. I'm just stating a fact.
Do you have a problem with Sealites?
No problem at all.
Flash an impenetrable smell at the lieutenant.
Not many.
Do you remember how? When
Think
we
so.
met
Sorry,
Measurehead
as you know,
and I
I've been
said
having
the
troubles
next
with my
At any
memory.
rate, this is our third lucky racist.
Yes, our lucky races.
Hey, man. All I meant was
The lieutenant
there are
is a
not
native
many
of Revachol.
Oh, yes. Of course he is. I was just speaking about his connections. Let's change this. Not many.
Do you remember how, when we met? Well, this is that racist.
I don't know, I like the previous races better. Are you, Gary? Are you racist?
Hey, man. All I meant was
Yes,
there
what
not
are
many
those? Are
Sealites
they doing
around
in that seal of theirs?
I'm just
Scheming?
stating a fact.
The lieutenant looks up at you, almost sadly.
Damn it!
Oh no, nothing
Hey,
like that.
Stop
Definitely not
being
scheming.
racist.
Not many.
Do you remember how, when we? Well, this is that racist.
I don't know, I like the previous races better.
Hey, man. All I meant was there are not many. No problem at all. Not many.
Do you remember how? When, well, this.
He has nothing
is that
compared to
racist.
Measurehead.
I don't know who that is, but all I meant was there are not many Sealites around here. No problem at all.
Is this your mug?
My mug? Why would you think that?
You said Yellow Man. That's not something many people don't understand. It seemed like you were calling to it longingly when you cried Yellow Man.
Oh, no, that's not... Why would I be calling to a broken mug?
Alright, I believe you. You look like the kind of man who knows it's a crime to lie to an officer.
Okay, I admit it. I threw the mug away in the trash container behind the hostel. I know I shouldn't have, and
Yes.
I am very sorry,
But the
officer.
dumpster is locked, Gary. How did you get into it?
You're not going to find me, are you?
20 real, 100 real, 250 real.
Somehow I don't think you can charge him actual money.
I'm just thinking which one Kim would appreciate me charging him for having a racist mug. 250 real, the maximum.
Oh, God. 250? How am I gonna pay that? Okay. I'll work harder. I'll pay it off. I promise. And I'll never do it again. I don't know what got into me, really. Work has been stressful lately. Damn Koiko's price dumping us out of competition.
What did you do, Gary?
Nothing. Just answering some questions. Helping out the law.
Here we go. Start pumping that sweet info.
Did you put the clothes of a murder victim, the man who was hanged in the whirling rag, in that trash container? Better question. How did you get into the trash container?
I know a guy who works with the trash collection services, CS Municipal. He gave me a master key for the trash containers of Martinez.
Why would you need to get into everyone's trash?
So I can use the Whirling's trash compactor to store my own stuff. Garbage disposal is expensive as hell. The damn Bohemians run it like a mob. I'm sorry, okay? I thought I could cut costs. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have disgraced myself.
Disgraced? No need for the histrionic, sir. It was, after all, just a trash container.
He studies his reaction. Gary doesn't answer.
Did you put the clothes of a murder victim in there?
Officer, please. Let me explain. It's not like that. I was only cleaning up. I live right across the yard from where he was hanged, and I saw him stripped naked. All the clothes lying around in the yard, smelling. People are animals, you know?
Okay, then what happened?
Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no one else would. I put them into the Whirling's trash, along with a broken mug, admittedly. Okay. I was coming to throw the mug away, and, well, I threw the mug there and the clothes too.
Right. It was just civic duty.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Civic duty.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks, like the clinking of glass beads against one another as they roll across a hardwood floor. You've heard this sound before, but where?
The armor. Pretty sure that's the armor sound, isn't it? Because the armor's made of a bunch of tiny little plates.
Is it?
You wouldn't happen to know anything about the victim's missing armor, would you?
Armor? No. I mean, yes. Of course. I know he was wearing armor, but I don't know anything about it.
An infant could see he's not telling the truth, but he's too scared to admit more wrongdoing.
Thanks, drama. What's that strange sound?
What sound?
The clinking I just heard when you moved. What was that?
The clinking.
Really?
Pan's arm was slowly, and this time the motions are soundless.
There's lots of weird stuff out here in the reeds, though. Insects, trash. Could be the wind shifting some garbage nearby.
Every day, the wind shifts the reeds and whatever was left in them. Tambourines and condom wrappers, plastic and glass bottles, the smell of decay.
Thanks, Shivers.
The sound you heard was not the sound of something easily abandoned.
I feel like I can just get him to move more. Let's move on for now. Actually...
Officer, please. I was only cleaning. Then I came out to clean up the rags, because no... Okay.
Right.
Exactly.
As he shifts uncomfortably, a series of clicks.
I know it, so I'm sorry.
Disgrace.
He studies his reaction.
Okay, let's move on for now.
I hope I can help your investigation, in my small way.
Clinking sound. Want to wear armor. Do you think I can nail a composure check?
Do you have any clothes that boost your...
Do I have composure closer? Shoes.
The composure shoes.
As all of my clothes that have composure? 1.
There they both are. Two identical shoes. Both copiously green.
You've never worn your shoe.
Reunited on your feet. Like two baby crocodiles.
How do they fit?
Good. They're balanced. Comfy. Feels like the only good thing about you right now, truth be told.
Why did it do that?
What?
Always a pleasure to... I mean...
Okay, I'm gonna nail it. 28%, 1 in 4 chance. And, Deb!
Is he? He's looking comfortable enough. Maybe it was just beads. Sounded like beads. But what kind of beads might a man like Gary be hiding beneath his clothes?
Currently sporting some anal beads.
I wouldn't be able to hear if you were wearing anal beads. Please excuse my colleague's humor. Working this murder case is taking a toll on us both. You don't quite have to answer that yet.
Of course, of course.
Avery, look at his dialogue. Avery, look at the description of his dialogue.
Where?
Gary the crypto
And we're going to no doubt hide some colors maybe than Buttons he does. Relatable. Anyways.
What? Huh? Huh?
I want to fail this. I know this clue.
You know this glue.
I know this clue.
Always a... I mean, officers.
I know this clue.
Okay, he keeps shifting uncomfortably, but you can't make head or tail of this sound. And honestly, it's rude to stare, so stop.
No. Damn. Big oof.
Blockade's really
The cancelled sequel to the Big O. The Big Oof.
We'll be on our way soon.
You have you noticed something
again
off by
for
your
lending
friend
me.
Gary?
No. No, of course not. Why? Well,
Are you sure?
he's been a little unenthusiastic about the trip. More so than usual. That's understandable. He just wants to get home and warm up.
He doesn't want to say it, but this is unusual. Gary's been to the jungle with him, to places way more challenging than the coast. Why so eager to go home?
Where are you going? Yo, Gary.
Oh, maybe
Always
that'll give you a
pleasure
plus
to...
one.
I mean, officers.
Nice.
That shirt looks
Bam,
very
baby!
uncomfortable on him. Look at the buttons, barely keeping that thing together, as if something is ready to rip out from underneath.
His massive musculature. Something worn underneath it, perhaps.
Yes, like a piece of ceramic armor, for example. One that makes a clicking sound when the plates meet each other, resembling pearls or marbles, stolen from the corpse in the yard near where he lives.
I see you're a connoisseur of high-quality combat gear.
I knew you'd figure it out, officer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you at once. I was
Buttons the shirt.
ashamed of what I did. And I didn't want you to know.
You see a gleaming white ceramic shine underneath. A thin layer of interlocking plates covers his gaunt torso.
We're not detecting falsehood, sire. He's gearing up to admit the truth.
I like that drama calls us sire.
This shame is surprisingly sincere.
Gary,
drama.
what's going on?
Yeah, drama.
Later,
calls you
Morale.
fire.
I've got apologizing to do.
No, you've got explaining to do.
Why did you really put those clothes in the trash?
Everyone was picking those pieces off him, and I was watching them do it. And they'd scattered his clothes all over the yard. Everything was smelling.
Is it his feet?
So I went there to take out the trash and started cleaning up. All those rags on the ground, him swinging up there, and I had a lapse of honor, sir. I thought, he's a foreigner. They all say he wasn't from here. Only the cuirass was left. So I stripped it off him. It was early in the morning. No one saw me. I took it with me. It was a mistake. Had I known it'd give you guys trouble, I wouldn't have... Fuck.
It's okay. It was a loose end, and you are tying it up now.
I'm so fucking sorry I called you Yellow Man. Sealite officers commanded the suzerain's navy. Most of them sided with the king when...
It's difficult to say what the lieutenant thinks of this historic apology. His face does not belie emotions.
Why'd you lie to me, Gary?
Because I was weak. I should have told you the moment I
This
saw
guy
you.
truly was our lucky racist.
The hell, Gary? You in trouble?
I'll explain later.
Give me the armor. Now.
He sighs again, hangs his head, and unbuttons his shirt fully. A cuirass that matches the dead man's boots comes into view. Soon it is in your hands, smelling of his sweat.
Do you know who killed the hanged man?
I always thought it was the Union. Some Union hardasses lynched him because of the strike. But almost everyone in town knows that. I wish I could tell you more.
He shakes his head.
This is all he knows.
Are we done here, Gary?
Yes, absolutely. I will never do anything like this again.
Thank you for your cooperation.
And the $200 fine.
Look! Stealing armor off of a corpse, disposing of evidence, lying to an officer, yes. The fact he got a $250 fine is a lot of money, but it's not. But it's less than what he probably should have been charged with.
I mean, also messing with the crime scene.
Yeah, he disposed evidence, messed with the crime scene, stole property, lied to an officer, was racist to an officer. It's like, yeah, the guy deserved a $250 fine for what he tried getting away with. He's not the biggest criminal in this town, because obviously there's a murderer on the loose, but a $250 fine is deserved for what he committed. You gotta account for the racism. Fairweather T500 Cuirass. +1 pain threshold, thicker skin, +1 volition, borrowed confidence, -1 empathy, mania of invulnerability. This vitreous enamel cuirass fits snugly and redistributes kinetic energy across its countless white plates. Amazingly, it fits under your coat. It also makes a pretty porcelain sound when it's shaken. I could put this on. I could wear this.
You could, in fact, wear this. It looks strange and alien.
I don't know. I kind of like the other shirt better because it gives me more red juice.
More red juice.
And then with the white jacket over that. You gotta have the
goddamn pants.
I don't want pants.
Wear some goddamn pants.
Yes?
I forgot you still had that possible check with Kim.
That patch of reeds over there, it's a great place to hide something. Kind of out of the way, being so close to the water.
What is this about?
Nothing. Just a hunch. The hunch passes, leaving you there, by the old boy bobbing in the water. Time to go.
The water. The number on this is 11. Thanks, Inland Empire. I'm always confused by the ones that have a discard thought option, but it seems like the other thing also discards the thought. Let me pick up that bottle. Don't you ever wish Heimdall was a real place?
Oh yeah, there's that dude.
Look at these long, dusty windows.
Avery, equip the necktie real quick. Oh, you had a bubble pop up. Oh.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Yeah, can you make what's inside behind the windows?
No, I won't even try. You know,
Your glasses off.
I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Can you still shoot, though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I pass my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Yeah, that Spirit is Eternal thing. The necktie is supposed to talk to you about that. I'm not sure why the dialogue didn't show up.
Maybe maybe it's because I took the tie off and I didn't realize it.
Maybe like if you pass back to
You
your
see,
village, like
a once
wear the
bright
tie and
mirror
walk around the
towering
drunk,
above
maybe it'll
you.
trigger then.
The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D.
I
A
see.
slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
It does not say Feld Electrical R&D. It says Feld Electrical Recherche et Développement.
Yes, the crack in the thing is covering up the D.
I know. It says, yeah, Cherche et Développement. It doesn't say R&D. It says words. Don't
Yeah.
lie to me, description.
Yeah, no.
Like, I know it says research and development, but it's not what the thing says. Fuck you. Tomorrow's just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Here's the color's bomber jacket. And the power box. It charges nothing now. It's empty. Oh, big money.
Boom.
No way on from here.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Ballman stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
I am, too, a fan of rich hypertext.
Nice
Oh.
to meet you.
Oh, I just got what you meant.
Did you hide a murder? Wait, what was that before about the windows?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
What? The sun
Oh, yeah.
rises in the west and sets in the... rises in the east, sets in the west. Why would they have to worry about the sun's glare from the south? I mean, I guess the sun moves in like an arc across the sky and shifts its due to the axis. I don't really know how the sun works in this world, given how the existence of the Pale.
You know.
Where is the sun? relative to the ground. That's confusing. Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Thanks, Half-Light. You know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of him, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching on his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately.
Worms.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
Where's the building again? This person will later go on to program Doom.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
You look like someone has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
I don't want your money. I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills are working.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact.
Looks up again, a playful Shinda shining his eyes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
What's fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
The sun's just a really big light bulb above the Earth in Disco Elysium. Yeah, probably.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Ah, they're a printer company. They're I would assume by comparison they are Kodak?
Hold on. What's R&D?
Challenging failure.
I'm gonna guess that R&D is Recherche et Développement. Look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
What's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
Oh, brother, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
I've never heard of this Felt Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
Ferrotape. Magnetic tape. Film. So yeah, ink cartridges and film. They're Kodak.
Avery Kodakery.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era.
We are slowly figuring out when this game takes place. We know the Kodak company existed and still exists in certain capacity.
Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve. Or should I say, they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bringing them to the average consumer.
The personalized computer.
Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Thanks, Mikhail.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld built this boardwalk? The engineers to come to heal? What happened to if so Feld built the boardwalk?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
Save the horizon as the picture and gondolas rising into the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer they were a big wheel, lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
The engineers, company people.
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
It's gonna suck if it turns out the Feld engineers were the ones that were lined up to that wall. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
Someone looks up, eyelid showing on the corner of his worm-themed coloring book. The Decree of Mars. The Mars Decree.
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio
March
transmission
Decree.
sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bombessier d'Insolente. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree.
I might go to the bookstore then.
I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How do tape computers work?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He's finger remembering something.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Wumpty Dumpty Dum.
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world.
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Juice, what are you talking about?
The Womty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself
There it is, those words
drew
again.
Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Turn to Kim.
You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Womty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
It was the Nintendo DS.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
The RCM should get some of those.
Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. So they did. The failed playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Failed playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the failed playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why the revolutionists destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
It'd be cool if we can go in the building and find a 4th prototype.
Actually, no. 10 years ago...
Wait, he did it.
Yes, tape computers. And... Actually, no. 10 years ago...
Wait, he did it.
The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center for...
Actually, I think there is. No, it's too much. He's joking.
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center is a place you can visit if you ever... But perhaps...
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the
I love that
revolution,
even Kim
it
thinks
who
the name
knows?
is too silly.
Actually, 10 years ago...
Wait, he did it.
The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center for... In fact, but perhaps...
Made of black
I've seen
film.
cooler things
I
than that.
certainly haven't. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The failed playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07. Who knows?
Well, that's something
But
else.
of course.
If
what
I
else?
if I remember right, I think failed playback experiment is like was also like a code name for something during the game's development.
Ah. What about the failed building down?
Sure. What's on your mind? But of course. What else?
Great, thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
What did you think of Trent Idlestom?
I like Trent Idlestom. Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center.
He is a nerd.
It's Wednesday evening, and something heinously exciting is underway. People gather beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29-year-old Wonder Twins, Guy and Keith Joost, are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers. Head curators of the art exhibition. It's the Wumpty Dumpty Dommiest event of the year, and all the cool kids are RSVP'd. Where are you, if you are not there? I need to get it. This is my next level is getting the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, obviously.
Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center.
Cheers, love. The cavalry's here.
Do not bring Tracer into this.
Quick travel unlocked. Buzz hum. The electricity flows through the wires with audible power. I somehow have fast travel to a church that I can't see because I presume it's to the north.
It's off to the.
So must have worked hard to smash that plastic dome. Go on.
It's off to the right of your screen.
Oh. Dead phone. Smashed receiver. Like something hung up too hard. You can imagine why. Calls become terrible sometimes.
You can, maybe you missed a dot.
The rear tire of a motor carriage adorns these reeds.
You missed a pink orb.
You should come back here when it snows. A strange feeling. It passes quickly. It was snowing earlier! Okay, but noted. Snow. Snow there.
So, Avery,
Hi.
go back to that phone. No, the other one.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Get the handset.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Put 10 cents and dial random number 00524031155.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female, sounds 100 miles per hour. No, this is not Pierre.
Do you have any news about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
Ellen moans, and the phone lines howl in unison with her. Let's see, I was calling a random number, and you somehow ran with it. Yes, I'm a salesman. What exactly did we do to your country? You know who I am, but who are you? No, I'm a police officer.
To hell with the police. To hell with you.
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Then send dial random number 00551179112.
Calling. Still calling. Someone with a masculine voice picks up.
Hello, Gerard speaking.
Hello, Gerard. Technically speaking, you're electricity.
Is electricity there? I need to speak with electricity, please. Gerard, what a douche name. Change it. Change your name.
No, but I got a feeling Al Kick Your Ass is gonna make an appearance if you ever call this number again. Have a good one, asshole.
Phone hanging up. Disconnect tone.
I love the idea of getting a random call for someone and they just tell you that you have a douchebag name and you need to change it.
10 cents. 9977313.
Calling. 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 Still calling. Still.
Stop calling me, man.
Picks up. The voice on the other end is slightly
I'll
startled.
get you your money, alright? I just need till tonight. Let me work.
We could all be a bit kinder to each other, don't you think? Consider your debt paid, my friend. This is greedy. This is a bad move. I'm gonna do this one. This will help everybody involved. This is such a shitty thing to do. Number 3 will get that man killed, probably.
Avery out here wanting to cause problems on purpose.
I'm a police officer.
The phone gets hanged up fast as lightning. All you hear is a little shuffle of nylon as the hand moves on the other end. Disconnect.
Let's just ready to move on now. One more. 11-11-313.
Calling.
I'm tired.
Well, but apparently there was something that got you a +1 with Kim.
Yeah, it was that conversation about eyes.
Oh.
I'm tired. A man answers fast this time. His voice is hoarse and you can hear typing in the background.
Sounds like he hasn't talked to anyone in quite a while.
I'm tired too.
If I could go just 1 month without writing, no, 2 months. I could regenerate my brain. Fucking liberalism.
The man disappears with a sigh. You do not hear the customary disconnect tone, just silence in the handset. The machine is still waiting for you to dial a number. Lucky you, the call went too fast for the payphone to register. You can still make a new one without paying.
+1 ring, +1 self-betrayal. Dial a random number with your eyes closed.
You close your eyes and put your index finger on the rotary dial, then pull down on the number, then move one up, and repeat the motion twice. Strange. This is not how you started before.
Keep dialing.
414447. The rotary dial feels cold from the sea air.
Keep dialing.
1117361. Your fingers keep moving like a spider. Every time the ring rotates back with a little ring of metal, like a bell tolling.
There's more?
Yes. 45167451. You are going deeper now, into some unknown place, far away from this island of matter and its telecommunication networks.
Finish it.
451. You have dialed God knows how many numbers. The headset has been waiting silently to relay a signal. Surely nothing can come of this, you think. But it does. A connection.
Oh, AV, what are you doing?
One second. I was thinking that maybe this is, the numbers are translating numerically to what's normally associated with each letter on a number, like dial. But 1 isn't a number, it's the empty space.
The empty.
It's like, the first number is the same number twice. 414447 111731 45167 451 451. The fact that the number 451 is repeated, and the fact that like there's multiple double numbers such as 4411 and another number in there, makes me believe that there is some like code in here somewhere. I just am not immediately figuring out what it is.
Avery,
You know,
do you have any guesses as to who this could potentially be calling?
your wife.
Do you have any guesses as to who this could potentially be calling?
The two things that were for the interface check were based on things that relate to your wife.
Avery, do you have any guesses as to who you think you could be calling?
Presumably your wife. I think it might be your wife. I'm just saying.
An ultra-long distance call. Your air fills with a crackle, the wash of a strange ocean full of white noise. A little bird starts ringing in there, not like the local calling tone before. No, a small ring in a cage of distortion, far away, a distant network of phones. Calling, calling in the night, the saddest sound in the world. Both pitiful and terrifying. You feel your pulse rising with each ring. Calling still. Ringing by the bedside of a dark but capacious apartment with long windows. You know this to be true. The handset starts slipping from your sweaty palm. Your breathing is heavy.
Why are these all red? I don't like that they're all red.
Oh, you know.
I don't want to hang it up because that's impossible.
Avery.
Yo.
Are you really scared of a 3%?
No.
Of a 3% squint?
It's not that I'm scared of it, it's that, I don't know, I guess I'm curious about the wife, but I also think, like, an important thing about this is moving on from the fact that your wife has almost obviously left you. So maybe hanging up is the right call here.
What's up with you?
You can't. Some strange force is keeping the headset glued to your hand. Your ear listening to the ring in the speaker. Calling. 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 Calling still. Then the ocean breaks. Out of the depths, a woman's voice emerges. Small. The dearest thing you've ever heard.
Hello?
You sound sleepy. Hello. I want to die. Who is this? I'm a revolutionary servant of humanity. I will free mankind and abolish the classes. I will raise the dead. Your voice is so beautiful. Goodbye.
These are, these are options.
I like that of all of them, this is the one with proceed. Goodbye.
A sigh. She heard you, but she does not hang up. And neither do you. You can't. That's it. You're caught in a trap. It'll take quite a while for the shit circus to end now.
Hello.
Also, if you notice your posture has changed.
Yeah. She hums, her voice formed from sleep.
Who is this?
Who is this?
Dora. Who is this? The connection is bad.
Yeah.
Dora. The name feels like a gift. A gift that was meant for you. To make it possible to live. And fight. In the distorted distance, you hear someone turning next to her. Bed springs rattle.
Is someone there?
No answer. You're not sure, but you think you hear a man's voice in the background. It's covered in pain and white noise.
Dora.
Dora, and in the distorted,
Don't react.
it doesn't matter if you react or not. You still think you hear a man's voice in the background. It's covered in pain and white noise.
Your voice is so beautiful.
No. It's you, isn't it? It's you.
I'm a revolutionary servant of humanity. I will free mankind and abolish classes. I will raise the dead.
You're not a revolutionary, Harry. You're drunk.
Harry, how do you know my name? Harry, who's Harry? Are you sleeping with him? I'm also Harry. I'm not drunk. Okay, I'm drunk. What does it matter? I'm still me. I'm not drunk. I'm high. I'm not drunk or high. I'm just hurt. Why does it hurt to talk to you?
Oh, God.
Say nothing.
Do you know what time it is? It's so late here.
Looks like she's looking for a clock on the nightstand.
It's 4 o'clock, Harry. I need to wake up in 2 hours.
Do you want to party? talking to me. Who I am. You sound like you know me. Where are you? You sound like you're in another world. Where are you going in 2 hours? I'm the law. I'm a detective. I'm doing a case about a... There's a hanged man. Hang up. Honestly, I feel like the right answer here is hang up.
It's up to you.
Like, Harry's been through a lot. He's obviously a recovering alcoholic. He clearly has lost the love of what he believed to be the love of his life due to his issues. And I think it's the most healthy option for him to not pursue a person who clearly doesn't like him anymore. And clearly has moved on and is presumably with somebody else now. So, like, I think the healthy option is to hang up. On, like, try to get on with his life. As much as I want to say things like, do you want to party? And I am the law, I'm a detective, I'm doing a case, there's a hanged man. I think, like, choice-wise, hang up is the best one, but I feel like I'll lose out on doing any other ones, which is unfortunate.
Avery.
Yeah?
Would you ever call me at 4 a.m. to ask if I want to party or say that you are the law?
Yes.
Do so. It would be funny.
Okay, Liz, I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you do this phone call thing?
Yes.
Does choosing these other ones result in something bad happening? Like, do these also result in the call ending?
I know if you say I know if you say I am the law, she just hangs up. Like I think most, like I know if you ask where she is or where she's going, she has an answer, but I think the rest she just kind of hangs up on you.
Your hand isn't moving. The headset hisses in your ear with evil sadness.
Rude.
Or maybe that's like the next part of the dialogue tree. I might be misremembering.
Don't talk about me. Who am I? You sound like you know me.
What do you want to talk about that we haven't talked about already?
This is bad. You feel your right hand on the handset cramping up with pain.
Where are you going? My heart hurts. I'm going to have a heart attack.
Oh no. Please stop. Please, let's just hang up.
Your hand isn't
Unfortunately,
moving.
that's not really an
The
option.
headset hisses in your ear with evil sadness.
Where are you going in 2 hours?
To work.
Where?
The academy, where I work.
That sounds better than my job. I'm happy.
No response, only a sigh. The connection crackles like burning paper.
Sorry, you sound like you're in another world.
I'm in my rover, sleeping.
I'm the law. I'm a detective. I'm doing a case. There's a hanged man.
She does not answer anymore.
Say the law 7 times, Lawbringer achievement. Can you help me solve it? I need to solve it. They won't take me back if I don't.
Harry.
Disconnect tone. The machine ran out of money.
Avery, Do not subject Harry to that. Oh. Well, Avery, you found one of the
Winter,
most...
slow to let go of Revachol. Flex some more wet snow from above.
What was
You
that?
found one of the most... You found one of the most uncomfortable moments in the game.
I didn't find it uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
I was not uncomforted by it.
Well, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was a little sad. I mean, Harry's remembering something that he's lost when he didn't even remember. He didn't even know the thing that he lost at first, and now he has to come to terms that he does not have this thing and does not need this thing, more or less. Look around you.
The snow falls lazily, making the beach sand paler still, mixing with the rust-colored sewage runoff. And to think, it seemed as though it were already spring.
How does it feel?
The melting snow seeps through your thin clothes. Grandmothers don't let their grandchildren out dressed so lightly in this weather. At least your hair is protected from getting wet and sticking together. You look around.
Avery,
Yo,
I pour a bottle of soda on you.
soda?
Yeah.
One time my sister, to wake me up, poured soda onto my head.
The fuck?
Her explanation was that there was not water.
Why would you pour soda on someone in bed? That'd make their bed all fucking sticky.
Yeah.
Uh,
What's in the west?
More winding coastlines lined with abandoned buildings, crumbling piers, salt water lapping at their dark piles, grey and red forgotten city blocks, what remains of the pre-revolutionary effort to gentrify the coast.
Beyond that?
The waters turn black, coal city in the shadow of San Martin, a boom town, back when coal extracted from countless shafts near the city was needed to power Revachol. No more. The coal was supplanted by petroleum from the ocean floor and hydropower from the Esperance. Everything crumbled. These days, only the weakest remain in Coal City. Their hopes of getting rich linger in the defunct shafts under their feet. Below
What's there?
the old mines, L'Océan Municipal, Revachol's underground cemetery. Le Petit Rat braved the underground passageways, trying to get to Le Royaume.
Little rats.
Children under 14, they go underground looking for artifacts to sell to foreign museums, and for fabled relics. Their parents let them. They go deeper.
Deeper.
After rubies, melchiorite, lapis lazuli, plundered from Safle and Seol during the time of the suzerain. In the burial chambers of the kings, Grand Old Philip, Guillaume II, and even in the mausoleum of Philip the Opulent. 2 kilometers underground, in a winding shaft along whose walls mirrors have been placed, so that daylight may eternally fall upon the richest of all the kings. The mausoleum contains untold quantities of gold, and that special, purest of the pure magenta cocaine, favored by Revacholian royalty. Did someone say untold quantities of cocaine? Drop everything immediately and go looking for this hoard.
Grab snow from your shoulder.
Few Petit Rat return from the shafts. Even fewer find what they're looking for. A small child steps out of the black tunnel with silver trinkets in her pockets. All around her, white snow on the extinguished coke furnaces, and on the weather-worn shacks where fathers beat their sons after drinking. The snow melts on your fingers, turning to water. The canal you crossed to get here and beyond it. Martinez proper, The district the police forgot to police. There is laughter, lights, attempts at entrepreneurial activity, cynicism. Someone is scraping snow off their windshield at the roundabout, in the midst of which a statue of Philip III serves as a destination for grade school field trips and a fine perch for winter birds.
That's all?
Like all monuments, it's also a warning. 6-story ruins on the south side of the roundabout cast a long shadow over the profligate king.
And further?
A fenced-off yard. There's a truck belonging to a logistics company parked next to the gate. Bright light from a building behind the fence reflects off its hood. Clean white light coming from the windows of a clean cube-shaped office building hidden amidst ruins. A secret.
North?
The abandoned church, one of 2 remaining stave churches, which were collectively called Les Sept Sœurs. The other 6 sisters were destroyed during the Revolution.
Further north?
A serpentine strip of land weaving its way into the Martinez Inlet. Unfortunates on the run from the law, from themselves, sometimes hide out on nearby islets. Little dots in the ocean that are occasionally submerged when the tide is high and the weather foul.
And on the islets?
The remains of a camp on a jagged piece of rock, a tent, old dishes and cutlery, long since abandoned. A hermit crab scuttles among the debris, looking for a new shell.
Crab.
Crab.
Further out, the lights burn bright on Resurrection, way beyond Martinez, a popular spa destination for ample-bodied Ozon kids with equally ample pockets.
The other side of the inlet?
Then there's Ozon, but the snow falls too thick. You cannot see that far.
Before that, before the currents are drawn?
The Bay of Revachol, vastness, great depth, over 1,200 meters at its deepest. Water, air brinier than hair. It is crisscrossed by huge cargo ships bearing company logos. Wild pines, Zam, Maurien, and at the farthest reaches of the Bay of Revachol, the shadow of the coalition warship Archer, on perpetual patrol duty, ready to unleash artillery fire if you were to rise up against the market. You shudder.
What's in the south?
The raised motorway, 881, separating Martinez from Jamrock. Vehicles whoosh past one another day and night, while those who reside in the labyrinthine alleyways beneath the motorway attempt to carry on with their lives in the snow and the slush. And south of the 881 is the Pox.
The Pox?
Was once a park, a place for reflection and recuperation for the patients of the old military hospital. In the 20s, it was used as a quarantine center during a measles outbreak that killed many children. Most everyone has avoided the hospital and surrounding park ever since. The Pox is completely wild now. Evergreen thickets covered in snow and industrial dust. Feral dogs and even wolves roaming in packs. The police try to keep the deepest corners cordoned off.
But still.
Heavy drug users do slip through and hole up in the old military hospital, hoping to find something to get high on among the hastily abandoned supplies, or just to overdose in peace.
Further south?
A line of motor garages with armored carapaces hunched in the cold. A mechanic is hard at work, patching up bullet holes in the side of a Capri 40. These are the garages of Precinct 41. Snow settles on the roof of the repurposed silk mill. It serves as your station. Shivering RCM personnel hurry in and out of the main entrance.
Wonder if Vic's found his heterosexual life partner yet.
The man with the fishnet white beard looks over at Chester McLean.
Damn, I don't know. Even a real Brotherbrund like that can't survive everything.
Around you, the snow continues to fall. To the west, the ocean swells.
No, it was home. I want more.
The stairs descend to central Jamrock. A man named Cooklove has a snow-covered stall there in the market across the bridge. He sells kebab infested with fly larvae to your colleagues who believe eating it will make them immune to food poisoning.
Your colleagues are stupid.
Snow falls on the utility district, the library.
You might
the
be a
florist,
drug addict, but you're not an
Sarah
idiot.
Maurizio restaurant that offers homemade wine, and also on the brothels and drug dens, and the chop shops of the Zemlyaki. All of this built around a lake that formed in a meteorite strike. At the center of this lake, there is a little ship. There are lights at the bottom of its hull. They are lights directed toward the seafloor, looking for something, like whiskers.
For what?
A chill comes over you, crawling down your back. The sand under your feet is wet. Somewhere in the south, tarpaulin flap in the wind.
Is it like scouring the seafloor for a body? Like a corpse? What's above?
More Coalition aerostatics.
They're scouring for an
Occasionally,
alien.
lights flash as they maneuver
Rude.
through the falling snow.
You
One
are in
large
the-
airship
you are in
carries
the water.
crates in its belly.
What's below me?
Layer upon layer of sand, poisoned with industrial runoff. The storm drainage, hidden bunkers. Rats scuttle.
Tell me a secret of the sands, Wind.
Someone stuffed a big old polar anorak into a concrete pipe under the boardwalk. It would keep you warm. You would probably never happen across it. But who knows? Layer upon layer.
No need for
of
secrets.
sand. No need for anything anymore.
Snow your feet to work, brushing off the snow. Finished thought.
We should keep moving. Who knows when the snow will let up.
Man, Shivers really is one of the coolest skills in the game. What other skill gives you, like, such long interactions like that? A secret?
I'm trying to find the secret. Like there's the pipe, I presume.
A secret. Yeah, you haven't explored that little area yet.
Yeah, but I want to find the thing under the boardwalk.
It's a secret. A secret.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring. Behind you, the ruins of a residential building loom over the reeds. They whisper amongst themselves. Confidentially, snowflakes cling to their shivering stems. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. nowhere for drunks and adventurous teenagers to hide. Now only the wind blows.
Reach for the trap.
Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
Maybe the next one, surely. Damn, I was hoping for it to be in the first one. I didn't grin. I'm not expecting to find anything. It just helped me some citizens in getting some fresh air.
I meant no offense. Just...
Someone doesn't know how to finish the sentence. He looks at you putting the trap back on the ground.
Behind you, the ruins of a residential building. When this district was booming.
Ava Weathan.
Hello.
Ava Squeathan.
Hello.
Ava Wee Squealy.
That's not my name. I want that secret!
Ava baby.
I feel like that should have unlocked my ability to get the thing I should not have known was there.
Well. Maybe it is not time for a secret to be revealed.
Fucked up. Rusty and Lyra say, Mazza. I got a level
Where you gonna level up? Where you gonna increase?
I gotta get Wompty Dumpty Dom.
What skill you gonna increase?
Wompty Dumpty Dom.
What skill you gonna get? I guess look at what skills you have that you don't really... I mean, that gives you +2 perception.
I don't really need the inexplicable feminist agenda.
I think you mean the feminist agenda.
Feminist.
It still gets me that when Endurance tells you to forget that skill, or that thought, the fucking tutorial voice lady also pronounces it as feminist. I mean, yeah, that's one you could get rid of. It's just -1 skill plus another skill. Like, I know you hate electrochemistry, but it's not like...
Wompty Dumpty Dom.
Wompty Dumpty Dom Center. They do be womping them doms, though.
Back from the rust-colored water. You. Despite everything, it's still goo. And with that, that's going to be the end of today's stream.
Despite everything, Avery's still screaming.
What's wrong with electrochemistry? It wants to constantly do drugs and fuck. Which, you know, is not healthy for a person who's a recovering addict. But yeah, thank you all for coming this evening. Ended up going for 3 hours, didn't expect to go that long.
I'm surprised most of your normal, regular viewers didn't really show up.
It happens sometimes.
Shout out to Jaden, though, for keeping through.
Jaden's cool. Jaden sticks around. I appreciate their patronage. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out. Remember to... And I will see you all in the next stream. Today's most loved viewer is Akahai Boys. For donating money to me. Because that's all it takes. Alright.
What did the donation say?
What was that?
I said, what did the donation say?
It was just them apologizing for not being able to be here for the disco stream and donating me $5 instead. Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Good night!